You are watching Xirtus.
You read up on like how this all came to be, and really like he's just implementing like a Sage DARPA system and saying we need to have some sort of projected communication. So HTTP and what we think of as uh the internet, like it was all designed for the purpose of having like if this city was nuked, then that city would have servers still, and if that city was nuked, this city would have servers still. So that ended up being more useful than we realized, because you could uh you could truck data to different servers. So that way, if someone needed access to some data, you could put that data closer to them. Like, let's say a bunch of people in this town or in this part of the country really like these broadcasts, right? So you can, like, YouTube can put servers that have most of that stuff duplicated in the United States, so it can be quickly grabbed by them. But let's say in Europe, more people aren't watching certain videos, so they don't really have to. So it takes a little longer to load them over the network, so they don't even they just keep a local cache of the German and the European videos, right? And this is the beginning of separating the internet, and that's also what started to emerge, was people saying, okay, well, now we're going to have these isolated pods. What are we going to keep isolated? Should we really? I mean, we don't really need to keep it isolated. It could be a system where, and they have this pretty commonly because there's different kinds of data recording. We keep data on tapes. We can keep lots and lots of data on tapes. And then when we need to access it, let's say we're going to make a movie or something and we need like recordings, then we'll copy that onto a solid state memory for 48 hours. And then while it's in the network, we can access it from the solid state. A robot picks up the tape and it records it into the solid state, right? Yeah, that literally is how it works. You know, they have these tapes and then a robot will grab it.
Wait, you're telling me today they have tapes somewhere?
Oh yeah, for sure. Tapes are the best storage system. Tape data, 12 TB, PB, like you've got terabytes and petabytes of data that you can hold on data cartridges that are these tapes, right?
I really wasn't aware of that. That's very interesting.
Tape's the way to go. Yeah,
So
tape is.
that's what like ultra big cluster server guys use in the backend or something, or
Yeah, yeah.
for long-term storage or something like this?
For long-term
Or
storage, for sure. Yeah, you can have 12 terabyte tapes, whatever. And the problem is, like, you
oh
have
my
to
God,
like,
back in the 70s.
yeah. Well, this is 3,200 megabyte tape storage, but this was probably like, think about that. That's over 3 gigabytes, right? So three
And that looks
gigabytes of
like it's a
storage.
few decades ago or something. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
this is at a time when, like, if you had access to 3 gigabytes of storage, it would have been just insane. Like the amount of movies you could have stored in super low definition and done like video game work and things like that. This would have been very useful if you had a giant network and you were storing data assets to make like a Sega game, or if you were working with Silicon Graphics and you're making Terminator and you needed. So then what you could do is you could have the frames process out frame for frame for frame for frame of like a melting Terminator, and that might take 2 months or something like that on like 40 computers that are in a render farm all running Linux. And then they print it out, and as it's printing out, where are you going to save that data? Because this is high resolution data, so you have to do frame for frame for frame for frame for frame. And then from there you can export that to a hard drive system array or to flash memory in the future, but they didn't have that at that moment, so you had to use analog in a certain amount of the steps, right? And now they have digital tape, which is crazy because like you can hold petabytes of storage on a tape, but it takes like a few hours to go through the tape, right? To like actually get that data and record it onto another NAS server that you can access.
Right.
Sorry, nerd.
Right. Well, thank you for that introduction. I really wasn't aware that this type of tape stuff was still being used today.
Oh yeah, dude, tape is king. It's crazy.
That's very interesting. So if you like, we can go on. We don't really have to watch the first thing. I just pulled it up because of the second clip from this guy. This is a guy with an interesting channel, Real Talk and Hip Hop. He also has a different channel with like business or something. And oh, this is actually a song. Oh, we can actually listen to the song if you want. It's just a
I
minute.
feel like we'll get. Do you think he's gonna copyright us if we do it?
Oh,
Probably.
I hope it's a cool guy. I don't know.
I hope he's a cool guy. It's
So
usually the robots. Like if somebody puts up a piece of music like this and like they're trying to protect their work, and I respect that, but you know, of course, they're gonna have like a distro kid or something like that. Then those will go out and find the music that someone else used in a video, because like how's an artist gonna spend all day looking for that? So he just signs with DistroKid, and then they claim
Right, of course,
uses.
of course, of course. I don't even think that's like a registered song or anything. Anyways, why I brought him up is because of the second link, the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I hope we can listen to this one. It's just a minute, or is it also then it's commentary? So, oh, this is this. No, 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 not this. This is the song, but
I
the
gave
other
him a
thing,
shot. I gave him a shot. Oh, yeah. This one here.
the second Bragg's ACV, just because he had the same experience as I had, and this is one of the only recordings I could find on the public internet where someone's confirming my delusions. So we can. It's all into
Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Some good stuff. Bragg.
I don't mean to brag or nothing.
Bragg. Really? It used to be an S on here. Where are we at?
All right.
So I'll just, for everyone who doesn't know, I'll just very briefly recount the story. I've been to the US a few years ago, and already, you know, having changed diets and so on, eating lots of salads, I was looking for the proper vinegar. I looked at in the store. I was aware I'm in the US. I have to be super careful because everything is, you know, glyphosated and whatever. So I'm looking for vinegar, and I see this comparatively bad-looking label, and I was like, oh, it says even with the mother, whatever. This seems to be the, you know, health choice I can pick. And I had never seen any commercial advertisement, anything for that ever. And I can clearly remember the label saying BRAGG''S, and also the text being arranged differently. So because it looks different if you have more or less letters, right?
Right. And you
now,
say, like, you're like, I want to get a bottle of Bragg's. You wouldn't say, like, I want to have
yeah, maybe today people would say different. I don't know what
Bragg.
people, but many people say, even in commercials, they often say, oh, there is an S.
Yeah, I was desperately trying to find it by typing Bragg's Mandela effect, and it took me a long time. But someone had made it, you know. I don't think it's real.
Yeah, but no, the S looks wrong, and there's no apostrophe. And also, I think maybe it was even like this. I'm not sure if it's like, but anyway. So this is one of those things where apparently now all the former labels changed and never had that name and so on. And I could more imagine if it was a product that, you know, I was used to or something. But since it was such an explicit experience, and I bought it in several stores, and then I came back from the US, of course, I'm noticing there's this Mandela.
Dude, look what they've done to Pikachu.
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
This world is messed up. I don't know.
Exactly. So then I'm reading up on it. This list comes up, and I'm like, oh my God, how is this even possible? And then at least for me, I was like, you know, if there is something like a sign or a symbol or a path, I was like, okay, if this is being put in front of me like this, is not something I can ignore. So just point that out again. Then actually, if you want, we can go forward to the reset research, I think. Let's see. Oh my God, yeah, if you want, we can watch the Jay-Z one. That's just more entertainment BS, but just to see which people are hanging out. It's just a short.
Yeah, it's interesting.
No, this is a longer one. We don't have to watch. It's just interesting to know that he's talking about it. But the short, yeah, we don't even have to listen to it. Just to see, you know, Jay-Z likes to hang out with Abramovich and so on. Yeah, so nothing surprising or anything, but just to point it out.
What are they saying that Jay-Z does? He's with Maria Abramovich. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's adorable. Look how he dances with her. Oh, that's so. He's like, yeah, wow, this is weird. He's like super into it. Like he's like, it's like he's dancing with like it's like a 10-year-old dancing with his babysitter. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
All right. It's like Padme with Anakin Skywalker.